Hey guys, and welcome back to another Bacrylic episode. And this is actually going to be, I think, episode 2 on the art side of my videos. Now, I know I haven't really done an art video in a bit because I've been having too much fun with like the Let's Plays. But I've recently begun doing these like little practices or sketches because I'm trying to get better at using the Wacom tablet for like straight drawing and sketching, which I've had the Wacom for a little bit, for like actually a few years now, but I still have yet to get accustomed to using it for straight drawing, and that's something I'd like to improve upon. So right now, we just have like this dragging concept that I have, and just doing these like black and whites, and this is the second one. I wish I would have got video for the first one, but I didn't record it, and I'm a little upset about that because it came out kind of nice. Oh man, there's not really much to talk about at this point. Unfortunately, I've been re-recording this tape for like a little bit because I kept doing mess ups or didn't know what I was going to talk about during it just because it's so long. Right now, I'm kind of working on the wings. Uh, this design does not work as a design. Like I kind of made this thinking that it was pleasing to the eye, but when you're doing a design for creature designs or a design for anything in general, you almost want to do like some background research or keep things kind of relatively simple, and you know make it seem like it could really exist in real life, or at least give it enough detail to make it pop out as if it exists in real life. Or placement, like this is a poor placement object. This is a the way it's posed right now is just kind of posed straight on, on at us, and it's not really setting the scene like the first one is in perspective. It's like a high school drawing. I can probably fix that later though. But I guess I kind of wanted to have like a flying dragon for this one compared to the first one, which is just pretty much land based with his goat horns and his long neck. I really thought it was cool. I'm surprised it came out so well. If you're judging saying it's like, well, Brody, it looks like shit. It doesn't really look all that well. Well, no, but I was expecting it to come out a lot worse. So this is actually an improvement for me because I didn't really spend a whole lot of time with it like I did for the second one. And two, I used it strictly with the Wacom tablet. I didn't sketch and scan, which has been a big thing with me for a while now. Is that I haven't been able to just sketch with the Wacom tablet in here and paint or draw on it. I've always been like scanning in, except for the that big fish painting I did. That one was definitely done in here. It just wasn't too detailed, and that's something I want to fix or get used to. So you guys get the good end of this bargain. You get to see the little mouse cursor on crack, whereas I actually had to do all this in several different videos, and I kept hitting the 0 button, which just so happens to be the 1 and 0 of the hotkeys for OBS that I set up. So I just kept closing out my video and having to restart. Well, not restart, but continue recording. And if I didn't mention earlier, you're going to see this concept like change uh, constantly because I'm dissatisfied with it. Like its wings look like fins. Wings don't really fold that way. They have some kind of arm bones for flapping. This creature doesn't have any legs, meaning that it'd be in a constant either flap, or if it's aquatic, this kind of looks aquatic, but it also looks like it'd be airborne. And if it was airborne and it didn't have any legs, it means it'd be in a constant state of flying. It'd never be grounded. And if it was grounded, it'd have to like be able to manage in a way that it could automatically take off when need be, because its tail, it's these. I guess that's kind of what I was going for a little bit, was that these wings didn't have any like arm bones, but part of me says, these kind of look like fins to the degree, or it looks like these things could have a little bit more structure, where instead of having to worry about just constantly flapping to stay airborne because its body doesn't allow it to land, would be that maybe they look like more along the line with fins, where they just kind of crawl on the ground somewhere and then take off again, like fins slash wings. But these wings have too many like bends in them. It looks like a dragon procreated with a ribbon or a flag, like the way its tail is and the way its wings are folding. That is not the way wings fold. Criticizing yourself is very important. Which I think is mainly my problem, is that right now I'm trying to hash out a lot. Like, a part of me understands, practice makes perfect, and sometimes just hashing out practice when you don't have any fuel for creativity still serves a purpose. It's just you're just like roughing it out. You're sticking it out. You're doing the work in it, even if you don't have any talent. I wouldn't say I don't have any talent for this, but I didn't have any talent for this prior to going to school, which is where I was like scared out of my mind, because I had seen people who had talent for this and that they were good. Because I was like, I was good compared to the kids in my class, and it turns out that, just being good compared to the kids in your class in a small town means that you could still be. And that was pretty. So I was very like also competitive. I was like, for some reason I felt like I needed to be better. And I like that at times, but it also is like nerve-wracking to the idea that you always got to compete with your fellow students, be like, oh, I got to be better than you for some reason. And that's in my head, that happens. I feel like I compete. And a part of me wants to be able to compete with my fellow graduates and my friends, but they're all kind of busy, so it's not really like we can just have a day where we're like, oh yeah, let's both draw something, come up with the cooler thing, see who's got what. This is a competition. A part of me wants to do that, but I think everyone's got their own schedule. And seeing as though I'm unemployed at the moment, it's kind of one-sided. So I guess what my idea for this while being employed is, because there's not too many places that I can do 3D work in Louisiana. There's Moonbops. I said Moonbops. Moonbots up north in Shreveport, and I've been there. I've gotten a tour, and they're great. They're really great. I'd love to have worked for them, but because they do their own thing there, they have certain stuff that they're making. Then they have like their hands in a variety of mediums and projects, which is really cool. But I don't really have anything that really lets me fit the bill for what they're looking for. They may be looking for something specific, like an animator. And even though I learned animation, I think I'm pretty good at animation. I don't have an animation demo reel, and it take too long to make one. And then the time at which it takes to make one, it's still no say in whether or not I'd get the job. Whereas I always wanted to like get better at digital painting, and I wanted to get better at like designing. So and I figured also, as a plus for this I could learn quicker than it would be to try and do another demo reel like from scratch. So maybe in later times. I also wanted to focus on the skills I wanted to, like digital sculpting and digital painting, and I guess some modeling aspects and animation. But the sculpting and the painting is kind of my thing right now, is that I want to focus on. Where it's not like I was trying to be an animator for some studio. I just kind of really wanted to do art in a sense, and tell stories. And when I found like all these digital mediums after going to college, I was like, oh, there's so much other things I can do now, or different mediums that I can use, which is like an eye opener. So I can't really say that I have a dream job or a job position that I really want to work at. And a lot of my friends from who graduated with me or from the school, they're not even working in the field right now because no job openings and a lot of problems with their school as well. I want to try and stick to it, hold out as long as I can. For my expenses run dry, and like these, if I do art, I can sell prints, and that's always something that I found like that may be a little bit more lucrative. Like even if I spent all this time on doing a new reel to try and get a job somewhere, there's always the possibility that you gotta match their level of professionalism when it comes to it. And if you can't, well, it requires more time and work to get better at it. That requires time that you probably don't have. But as I'm like drawing and painting and upping my skills in this, I can take what like the fruits of that labor. And since I do digital, I can always make prints. If I can find some place to sell that, well, I can still make a profit off of it. And maybe try to like, uh, well, not say make a living, but get by on my own stuff. And that's really something I always wanted to see if I could do. Because I get a lot of shit on times about saying like, need to be looking for a job. And I've kind of been in the business side of media arts and animation, not the entertainment industry, but the business angle where most people are more likely to get their jobs there because they need the money, and it's just soul crushing. I really didn't like it. It made me start to hate what I do, and that's very upsetting because I'd come home and I wouldn't even want to work. I just want to like relax and forget about the day and hope to God tomorrow never came. Which is upsetting because I really didn't like get into this profession to do that. And I kind of want to make a bet on myself to say that I can make it. So I'm gonna, I guess, try to scratch and claw and do whatever I can to fill that gap between me and professionals. So, like, Jade always wonders like why I say sometimes I'm studying, and I do. I bought like a shit ton. I don't know what's wrong with me. I bought a shit ton of art books and magazine issues. It's because a lot of things I don't or didn't learn in college yet, or don't know offhand at the moment. I always think, well, like these books are going to be my teachers, and one of these days I'm just going to be like one of those people that sits down and like runs through these books and just like reads and reads and reads and does these tutorials and stuff and everything that shows, and I'm just absorb everything and just remember everything, and just become a badass. The problem with that is I don't even think that I'm capable of like doing that type of learning. I always felt like I needed like a teacher or something, but I'm gonna try and overcome that gap, like that handicap of mine, because I have these resources now, and I'm gonna try and use those to be my teachers, my substitute teachers. I don't even know where I started this conversation. I'm just gonna keep talking. What else? I want to do another painting, but maybe some like loose landscape paintings, like fantasy landscapes, because not like as exotic, or well, I say exotic, but like as claustrophobic or chaotic as the I say claustrophobic. Claustrophobic is definitely not the word to use. Chaotic as the one with the fish. Maybe just like some fantasy landscape areas. Maybe not too much like living subject matter. Maybe some. I'm gonna get a little bit better at that. Maybe in the future. I was thinking about possibly going back to school, like uh, with a different school choice in mind. Kind of targeted more to like the digital design. There's this guy I really like who's a teacher who's in Singapore and he does great work. I know it'd be insane to go to Singapore and the tuition is insane, but his program is intense and I imagine like their students go through hell, but the end result is amazing. The stuff that they come up with, and it's not necessarily like they showed the work that they submitted before they got accepted, and the uh, the end result is just crazy, and you could see that from their starting point, where either they had some skill, or you'd say it's like you wouldn't even call them. Uh, I don't know what I was gonna say. Is that they had some skill, but you could tell where they were lacking. You know, some of it's just that kind of, all right, I'm touching the digital aspect of art, or I'm kind of grasping some stuff, but there's a lot of stuff I don't know, and the end result is just amazing from what they do. Like you see it immediately, and it's good work. It's great work. A part of me would be a little bit nervous though, because if I'd go, I'd have to go by myself, and of course, and just attending school in Singapore would just be like nuts. Also, there's certain rules like you can't have pornography. A few of my friends like to banter with me. Would probably say, "Well, dude, you definitely can't go." Or you one of the other rules, you can't walk around like in your own home or in your own residence. You can't walk around like naked, which that is a bit of a problem for me. Like, cause I will forget that. I don't even know how you get caught walking around in your own home, even if you got the windows closed and the blinds closed, just naked. Like you can't. Yeah. I'm gonna have to like do more research, but if any of you guys know offhand like that's not true, then feel free to let me know. I think I just heard this somewhere or read this somewhere. I don't know about the legitimacy too much. We're about to come to a close, I think, on this. I'm like giving this character a little bit more of a bend in its body, and I think I'm gonna give it some highlights, and it's gonna be it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna see if I can't do like a few more of these, like maybe two or three, and just have this banner, or maybe set it up where I have these little designs, and I might end up using this as a make some prints of these and sell these as well, but set them up in a method that would be interesting for like a, I guess a frame. Last time I had to make my own picture frames for like a picture for the fish one, and another render that I did was like 11 by 22, and this, oh wait, no, I thought it came to a stop. It didn't. It's about to. And I had to make it from scratch with some wooden little plank things for frames at Hobby Lobby, because they don't make that frame size offhand, and if they do, it's something decorative, and you gotta spend like a crap ton of money just for something like that, which I didn't want to. I just wanted something cheap, so I use this display to show at the shop. But if you guys are residents of Louisiana and want to come see me and are close to Lafayette, I will be at Majestic's Tattoo and Saloon, Ink and Saloon place next weekend for Art Walk.
That's it.